All right, guys, we did it. We hit 1,000 subscribers, and man, it feels amazing. This is a goal that I had in my head for so long, and just keeping your head down and trying to provide as much value as I can every day. With about 3 videos for a day for most days for these past couple of months, really. I mean, has been, it's just like, man, we finally hit it. So I learned an important lesson about value, essentially, that I hope will be beneficial for you guys. It's a lesson that I learned in this journey, and I wanna kick it to you guys real quick. But first, obviously, if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Black Bullion, and we talk about bullying here on this channel. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in economic news, please hit the subscribe button down below. Also, if you like what you hear, hit the like button. Helps to get this economic evangelism out there to the masses. And in this thank you video, we will be talking about how to grow your channel from 0 to 1,000 subscribers, and also some lessons about economics thrown in there as well. So, when I started this channel in October, I didn't put a video out until early November. I put out weekly videos and pretty much to like lukewarm success. And around December, things kind of petered out. And after a certain point in January, I just kind of stopped putting out videos altogether. And in late February, the markets were going crazy, and I consumed a lot of financial news and YouTube content from other bullion channels as well. So then I decided, well, actually in early March, my job let me work from home, and pretty much I've been here ever since. But in late March, I rethought my approach to YouTube, and I decided to just, essentially put out a bunch of different type of content about bullion and economics, with different types of thumbnails and stuff like that, just kind of experimenting. Um, One video in particular out of this experimentation phase got a lot of traction. So I analyzed it, and I decided to kind of double down on the things that I thought were causing it to perform well. And once I kind of got more reaction back, I decided to put out 3 videos a day, beginning around like mid-April, and I saw an exponential growth from that, pretty much throughout like mid-May, or actually towards the end of May. And then in June, I started to notice that things slowed down a bit, but I mean they're still going up, but things have slowed down compared to that period between April and May. And I decided to investigate why that was. And it turns out, from what my investigation led me to, having gone and looked at stats from Social Blade. If you guys go to socialblade.com, you can type in any YouTube channel that you can pretty much think of, and you'll be able to take a look at their rate of growth for subscribers and views. You can do that. You can do the same thing for my channel as well, and then you'll see that from my channel, then also from even bigger channels, there was like a spike for most YouTube channels towards the end of March and going until the end of May. So what I pretty much concluded was that I sparked a lot of growth during this time due to the lockdowns, because it caused a lot of people to direct their entertainment needs to YouTube. So a takeaway there is that for you guys who are looking for similar growth on your channels, um, you may not get it right now, that kind of growth, just because, I literally happen to be lucky enough to hit that timing. But wait until we get another lockdown. It's going to happen. So when that does happen, essentially just triple down on your production. And I know we have some international audiences here, and I know the lockdown restrictions vary from country to country. But if you start noticing that you're getting a lot of, if you're getting a lockdown in your country, seize on that opportunity and put out as much content as you can during that time. If you still have a job and you're interested in this, and you don't have too many outside responsibilities that will limit your time into putting into YouTube. Um, so that's my first point. Now, um, the second point leads. I pretty much have another point too, and what I've learned, and this is more so on the economic side of things, is that there is a relationship between production and distribution. So while embarking on this YouTube adventure, I noticed something pretty peculiar. I started to do calculations, on what I could potentially make from Google AdSense. And Google AdSense is essentially the way that you get paid on YouTube. Um, and here's what I noted. Essentially, the amount of time it takes for me to produce YouTube videos every day, it doesn't really change. It's roughly the same amount. Like I probably spend about maybe 3 to 4 hours a day doing YouTube related things. Um, and you know, even though it doesn't change, I noticed that my channel kept growing, and essentially you get paid off of views. The more views you get, the more you get paid. Is a quick way to think about it. And obviously, your views grow as your channel grows. Um, this is a stark contrast essentially to how my current job pays me, my 9 to 5 job. There is no growth at all when it comes to being paid at my current job in my current position. I essentially produce a product for 8 hours every day, and what I receive doesn't change. Uh, what I mean by receive is my paycheck. My paycheck doesn't change no matter how many hours I put into a project. So I could put in 2 hours on a project. I could maybe work overtime and put in 10 hours on a project. It doesn't matter. I still get paid every 2 weeks. So then I start to think about the variable that separated those two types of income streams. And with both, I'm still putting in effort to produce. But what essentially is the main difference here? The main difference is distribution. And once I figured that out, it's like a light bulb went off in my head. But with my 9 to 5 job, I think about it this way. I sold my product or my service to my employer after the interview process. And I sold my service for a consistent price. Every 2 weeks, I get this. And I essentially will only have this one customer. My employer is my customer, and they pay me for my services. But I only have one customer. That is the distribution that I have there. On the other hand, with YouTube, I sell my product, which are YouTube videos I license to YouTube. And I sell my product to advertisers via Google AdSense. So essentially, the amount of customers bidding for an ad placement is either greater than or equal to one on every single monetizable video that I have on my channel. So here's the lesson. We all produce. We all have products. But production plus distribution equals X price. If I produce a product and sell it to one customer, my job, for example, I've capped myself at the agreed upon price that we set. If I sell my product to, let's say, X customers, or let's say N customers, whatever variable you want to use, I've only capped myself at X price. All that to say, if you're interested in YouTube, I'd say get started as quickly as you can, because you won't be capped in the same way that you are capped by selling your product or your service to that one customer being your employer. Okay, so with that being said, I think it's time for us to get into the thank yous and the shout outs for this channel. So let me actually just pull out my my notes here, because I want to actually make sure I get everything right. Because I want to make sure I get everything right for everybody who has supported this channel. So first, I have to shout out the 1,000th subscriber. His name is Bradley Jordan, and you will see that name shortly. I'm actually going to be doing this video a little bit differently than how I've been doing it in the past. Um, I will actually show you guys the names that I read off of the commenters so you guys can support them as well. You know, it's one thing for me to write down a list of names and then read them, but it's another thing for me to show you guys so you guys can actually just follow each other. Okay, so here we go. We have Steve Girardi. Next up, we have Shays. And Shays, you know, thanks for all of the advice on real estate. We have Plumbada. Plumbada is another millennial stacker as well. DW. We have Jim C. Jim C. Very intelligent man there, as he says. Those guys named Jim tend to be very intelligent. Next we have Golden Gun. Oh, and definitely have to shout out Omnipotent Being. Omnipotent Being has been essentially, you know, watching the growth of this channel, you know, looking at stats and stuff alongside of me. So thanks again, Omnipotent Being, for you know, watching alongside. Cycling Philosopher. Cycling Philosopher, he really is a philosopher. I can tell he thinks um, a lot about, I guess you could say, uh, gold and economics as well. Next up, we have Philip Quinn. Philip Quinn is a really, you know, really great subscriber. He, you know, always comments on videos, so I really appreciate his support as well. Um, Next up, we have RWG, another great subscriber, longtime subscriber. Oh, and here it is. Here it is. Bradley Jordan. Bradley Jordan. He commented, "I'm the 1,000th sub," and you know, I just said thank you. I'm documenting this. Took a screenshot. Gonna give some shout out soon. So, you know, there you have it, Bradley. Had to shout you out. Um, Next, we have the Unspoken Scott. So, you know, we have an international audience here, which is great, which helps me. I learn a lot from you guys who live in other countries. We have the president, President D Chump. I actually joked around with him. This is the first time he commented, but I said, you know, thank you for checking out the video, Mr. President. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll get to 563,000 plus gold ounces like you, and what that essentially amounts to is about $1 billion. So I just had to joke around with that. Next up, we have Boston Stacker. Boston is a great city, great town. I've been there once. Um, let's see. Gonna see if I can find somebody that I haven't read in yet. Oh yeah, Thomas Mueller. I believe Thomas Mueller is in Germany. So yeah, gotta shout out my international audience again. It's so cool to see that there are people from all over the world checking out this channel, and again, I learn a lot from you guys. I think Thomas even mentioned before that he's seeing a lot of interesting um, silver demand side things happening in the photovoltaic space. So thanks for filling me in on that, Thomas. Also, Cactus Jack Swag as well. Another great subscriber. Just Add Silver. Um, Shout out to you. Oh, also OMG, The Way of Mario, Dion Gully. You know, I think he really recently said that he got into gold and silver, and you know, I think it's so cool just to see people getting into it, and you know, I had my uh, you know, my moment of kind of getting into gold and silver a while ago. So, you know, it's so cool to just have that moment or it's so cool to just finally kind of be out of the matrix, so to speak. Um, let's see if anybody else is here that I haven't shouted out yet. Oh, Human. Human is always there commenting. Really appreciate your comments too, Human. Um, Nick Nikolic as well. always comments as well. Thank you, Daniel Volpe, or it could be Volpe. I'm sorry. Um, let's see who else here. Shout out to Babashai Banzel, I believe is the name. Oh, he actually responded to me. I asked him, what currency this is, and he said Indian rupees. So, yeah, again, just another shout out to the international audience. Um, I know, and also thinking about you guys in India, I heard about, the skirmish that happened on the northern border from China. So yeah, thinking about you guys. Um, Dave Phillips, shout out to you. Shout out to CoinHound, a recent subscriber. Shout out to Shady Mustafa as well. Shout out to Chris in Virginia. Virginia is a great state as well. I had a friend who went to Virginia Tech. Really cool state. Um, oh, shout out to Abu Hamid Al Ghazali as well. Yeah, Abu Hamid Al Ghazali has been there from the beginning. I believe he was probably one of my first like consistent commenters. So I really appreciate your support too, Abu Hamid. Let's see here. Shout out to the letter Y. Shout out Thousand Air Radio. Shout out James 007. Anybody? Shout out to Maddie here. See who else I can find. Oh, shout out to Mark Holland as well. Shout out to YK Shoot Raw X. I believe they've been following for some time too. So really appreciate, um, your comments. And guys, I'm actually gonna go back to about the last 6 or 7 days or so. Shout out to Dave Forgot. Dave Forgot has been there in the trenches with us and in many of the comments. So he and I have also traded some ideas. So really appreciate your support, Dave Forgot. Um, Shout out to Dubravko Magic. Um, really appreciate your support. Ah, yes. Shout out Silver Game of Thrones. Really funny guy. He has this cool video. I believe with a marmot in it. Really hilarious. Um, oh, shout out to Super Dad 2006. Super Dad 2006 is a really thoughtful stacker. He's been in the game for a while now. He told me about some of his successes from the last out of the last financial crisis. So, a wealth of knowledge there. Shout out to Blindsight. Shout out to Fogri, I believe is how you pronounce the name. Shout out to Pure. Oh man, I'm sorry, I can't speak. Pure Reviews 420. Let's see who else we got here. Okay, I've shouted these guys out. Who else? Who else? Shout out to Charles Wilson and In God I Trust. Shout out to VJ Pamecha. Who else do we have here? I'm scrolling. Oh, gotta shout out Wood Nickel 89. He's been in the trenches with me for a while too. Really appreciate you still supporting as well, Wood Nickel 89. Um, let's see who else we got here. Shout out to Bree G. I believe Bree G and I have we bonded over the Joe Budden podcast. Um, Check out the Joe Budden podcast if you guys are interested in like rap and all that kind of stuff. Shout out to Silver Drill Pickle. Shout out to Reasonist. Oh, and also Thomas Jackson. Thomas Jackson has been there for a long time too. So shout out to Thomas Jackson. Shout out to Adam C. Glad that the info was solid and concise. I try to keep things short, but obviously this video is going to go on for a while. But I really want to let you guys know that I appreciate your support. So I'm going to keep going, as long as, to go back as far as I the last video where I was shouting you guys out. Shout out to Dean Burton. And I think we might be towards the end. Shout out to Will Weed and Anthony Mueller. Let's see. I think we might be towards the end. Shout out to Robin56RF. Yeah, he actually made a joke. I said I prefer brilliant uncirculated coins. And he was like, yeah, 151, you made two cold coins, though, by scratching them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Shout out to Yaya Man, who's also been around for a very long time. Shout out to J6 as well. Who else can we find here? I think we might be nearing the end. I don't want to skip anybody that commented during this time. Oh, shout out to Wang Deng. Shout out to Barber Quarter. And I think shout out to Howdy. Who else can we shout out? I want to make sure we get everybody here. Shout out to Roofing Contractor New and Repairs. I'm glad I could shout you out here because I think it sounds like you're a business too, so I want to shout out businesses. Shout out to Chetin Parek. And also shout out to oh man, shout out to Mark Magner. He called me a fearmonger. Um, and I think I might have addressed that in another video. I think we might have pieced it up though a little bit. I tried to explain to him my thinking, but shout out to Andrew Booth, and I think that is where we're going to end it. Well, let's end it with Brooklyn Silver. Thank you, Brooklyn Silver, for subscribing as well. All right, guys. I think we've clocked in about around like 20 or so minutes. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for getting this channel to 1,000 subscribers. That is just nuts to me. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Thanks again. It's Black Bullion.